This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. This story is about Corey Davies Jr. He was shot dead in a park in Newham on the 4th of September in 2017. His murder remains unsolved. Part of the review declared that Corey had ordered a bulletproof vest online. So a 14-year-old boy in the UK, the first world, felt the need to order bulletproof vests. He was kicked out of school. He had ADHD, so that's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. He had above average grades in primary school, so he was actually quite a clever kid. But in secondary school, like so many, it becomes more of a different environment and sometimes it's a struggle to adjust. His behaviour deteriorated. He was eventually excluded and placed in a pupil referral unit where he fell into the clutches of gangs. A pupil referral unit is where they send kids. So you're sending kids that are naughty for medical reasons into a place that is just full of naughty children. All the kids in there will be naughty and for different reasons. He was caught by police carrying a Rambo knife. He told the police that he had only carried it for his own protection, and he told social workers that he was worried about his safety. This is what I mean by a kid that, because they use grooming, they say he was groomed, and they start selling drugs and getting involved in that lifestyle to get more money. All kids will be manipulated, some more than others, but not every single one is groomed. The fact that he admitted to carrying the Rambo knife because he felt scared and reached out to social workers meant that he didn't necessarily want to be a part of this lifestyle, and the review found many faults. At one point, Corey had gone missing for a week. What they'd believe or what they're going to associate to it is that potentially he went on a county lines. The police believe he was connected to the E7 gang, 7th gang of Newham, who was at war with Beckton E6. And they believed that he was selling drugs for this gang and associated with people involved in this gang. His mum believed if he hadn't lived in Newham, this wouldn't have happened at all. When he returned home after disappearing for a week, she actually moved him to her brother's house in South London. She also messaged social workers to say it was a life or death situation and did as much as she possibly can to try and get the help of the authorities because she was struggling. She's openly admitted that she was struggling to prevent him from being involved in the gangs, that he didn't want to be involved in them. So it's great. The E6 and E7 beef has been very ongoing, and there was actual evidence as well. There was actual footage of a Range Rover that was driving from the scene, erratically overtook a bus, and they still didn't even arrest anybody on proper charges. Nobody even stood trial over this. It was quite bizarre, to be honest, the fact that they could just get away so easily. I didn't realise they didn't even have technology to be able to get rid of the tints on a car. It was quite interesting to see the levels that the police didn't go to actually try and find who killed. And prominent members of the gang that the police associated to 7th was actually CB, and 4 members of them were actually sentenced to 23 years each after being caught in a ride out, which is going to enemy territory to shoot somebody with a gun and a knife. And the police actually shot at their car and they found clown masks and stuff. And they was actually meant to be prominent members of this 7th Newham gang, and their rivals being E6, their main prominent members being the twins and also young Diz. And they believe this was a tit for tat sort of gang feud between these two areas. And what you also have to understand as well and take into consideration is that a lot of these young kids that are technically in gangs, they do tend to congregate around parks because it's the one place that police can't really move you from. So if you're gathered around any other area, you could get moved on for loitering. So a lot of kids around parks tend to literally just be the place that they chill because they can't get moved on. A bizarre twist that actually happened in May of 2018 was that his mum actually come out to the papers. A gang that was associated, or they believe linked to the murder of her son, actually did a song where they taunted him, and there was referencing young Diz. It says here that a mum, schoolboy shot dead, says gang taunted her. In rap video said, I laughed when you buried him. Her son was found with gunshot injuries last year. The schoolboy was sat with friends when he was approached from behind. They wielded a gun and opened fire. A suspected revenge attack. CJ suffered irreversible brain damage and surgeons said he was unlikely to survive his injuries. He then died. She then seen taunts online by a gang claiming to have murdered him. But I didn't see to take the agonising decision to turn off her son's life support. There is a rap song saying, "I don't care your son's dead, I laughed when I saw you bury him." These are the lyrics of the song. I've actually had to hear this. They just don't care. I'm speaking out against them, and even when my son's killers are caught, this will not stop for me. And then they say again he was killed as part of a turf war between rival gangs in the area. So if you don't want to listen to this, I respect that and just turn away now. But this is actually some of the track that was actually removed from YouTube due to the lyric content by Young Diz.
Same way Slap got West is the same way got hit. Gang. We splashed him and he tripped. Niggas no gangs on piss. We splashed him and he tripped. They took 2 of my tunes down to mum kept shedding tears. Somebody tell her I don't give a fuck that her son ain't here. Ever since her son got dropped, the whole block ain't done shit. And I was laughing when I saw the pic of her mum just bury her kid.
And of course, I'm sure most would agree that the lyrics and the content are quite unexcusable, and I think this was sheerly done for shock value. As anybody could understand, it clearly hurt the family who felt the need to have it removed from YouTube. This actually, I think the whole feud between these actually escalated because as well as CB getting charged, Young Diz actually received 3 gun charges too. He went through trial and actually got off with the case. He had no idea how. They never released any detailed evidence. Yeah, he got off with 3 gun charges just recently. And then he also went on SPAC Nation, which is a TV show on BBC 3 called Surviving or Escaping Gangs. And he speaks to the man who owns... He's trying to get investment in a music company, basically. And he speaks to the guy about being shot twice and stabbed nearly a dozen times, only 7 months ago, in retaliation to other beefs. And then he also speaks about the fact that in this street life, he takes note of the fact that you are held responsible just for your association. So he might not necessarily have any direct connection or whatever to any of these crimes, but just from association or representing any gang, you automatically will be held responsible for their actions.
I heard the name they call you sometimes.
What do you call me?
Something with devil or something like that.
Yeah, it could be the devil and that. Yeah. I got shot and stabbed, innit?
How old were you when you got shot and stabbed?
About 7 months ago.
So the youngers need to notice this. They need to understand that element. Do you know what I mean? You are taking a risk if you represent any type of gang. But you did also see a different side to Young Diz as well, where he talks openly about the fact of how he's lived a mad life and how it's affected him too. When somebody dies on one side, you have to get revenge, and then it just becomes somebody else dying on that side, then back and forth, and it would never end. Literally, it would never end. Do you know what I mean? In my city, there's been wars going on for over 10 years because of people getting killed over stuff like this. It comes to a point where, at the end of the day, people have to start to realise, do you know what I mean? Is this what we want to be doing? Killing children as revenge for anything? It just doesn't make sense. So I don't want to see any comments actually accusing anybody of any crimes they haven't been convicted of. That is the only thing I'd ask you not to do, just because, do you know what I mean, this is about failures for the government from getting involved. Do you know what I mean? Why are these areas so bad? Or these young children feeling that they have no other option but to go and sell drugs? I want to talk about them elements to it as well. And also paying tribute to Corey Davies, because I don't think he's really had any respect paid to him. Do you know what I mean? Even in life, he was just treated as a criminal. So I'd love to hear what people have to say on this. So please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. The Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Peace.